My best friend ruined my life. But what happened next was unbelievable. It was just a typical Friday night, at least that's what I thought. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, when I saw it. A message from my best friend, Adam. We've known each other since childhood. We've been through everything together. High school, college, the ups and downs of life. I thought I knew him better than anyone. But that message, it tore my world apart. Hey man, we need to talk. It wasn't the kind of message you expect from your best friend. Usually, it's memes, inside jokes, or plans for the weekend. So naturally, I assumed something was off. I texted him back, asking what was going on. But his response, it was the last thing I ever expected. Meet me at the old park. It's important. Something about the tone in his message made my stomach drop. I wasn't sure why, but I knew something was wrong. So I grabbed my jacket, hopped in my car, and drove to the park. It wasn't far, but every mile felt like it was stretching into an eternity. I had no idea what was coming, but my gut told me it was bad. When I pulled up, I saw Adam standing by the swings, his back turned. His body language was different, tense, like he was preparing for something big. My heart started racing, but I brushed it off, trying to stay calm. Yo, man, what's going on? I called out as I approached. He turned slowly. His eyes, there was something off about them. Red, like he hadn't slept in days, and the kind of look someone gets when they've done something they can't take back. But it was his words that froze me in place. I messed up. I don't even know how to say this. I waited for him to continue, but it felt like time had stopped. I had no idea what he was about to tell me, but I could feel my whole body tense up, waiting for the bomb to drop. Jenna, he said, and my heart skipped a beat. Jenna, my girlfriend. The woman I thought I would marry one day. I've been seeing her behind your back. I'm not sure how I didn't just fall to my knees right there. The world spun. Everything I thought I knew about my life, my friendships, my relationship, was shattering in an instant. Adam, the one person I trusted more than anyone, had been sneaking around with the woman I loved. My mind raced. I wanted to scream, to punch something, to make sense of it all. But instead, I stood there in silence, the weight of his words sinking in. I'm sorry, man, Adam continued, his voice barely a whisper. I never meant for it to happen. But it did, and I can't take it back. I just stared at him. My mind went blank, trying to process the reality of what was happening. My best friend, the guy I had spent years with, had not only betrayed me, but had also destroyed everything I'd built with Jenna. It was all gone, just like that. But Adam wasn't done yet. No, he had one more thing to say. One more thing that would change everything. There's something you need to know, he said, his voice shaking. Jenna, she's pregnant. I couldn't breathe. It felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. My body was numb. My mind couldn't comprehend what I had just heard. Pregnant? How could this be happening? How could they do this to me? The silence between us was deafening. I wanted to yell, to ask every question that was swirling in my head, but all I could do was stand there. My entire life had just been turned upside down, and I was standing in the middle of it, completely lost. Adam's words echoed in my ears as I turned to walk away. My heart was broken, my trust shattered, but little did I know, this was only the beginning. The truth I was about to uncover would destroy everything I thought I knew. And the revenge I'd take? It would be something no one saw coming. I couldn't even look at Adam as I walked away. Every step felt heavier than the last, my mind racing, trying to make sense of the mess he had just thrown into my life. Jenna, pregnant? It didn't add up. I thought about everything we had, how we'd been talking about moving in together, how we'd been planning a future, how we had our whole lives ahead of us. But now, all of that felt like a cruel joke. I didn't want to confront her right away. No, I wasn't ready for that. But I couldn't stop myself from driving to her place. I had to hear it from her. I needed to know what was going on, why she had done this to me, to us. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly, I thought my knuckles might crack. I kept asking myself the same question over and over. How could she do this? I pulled up to her apartment, the familiar sight of her building only adding to the weight of everything crashing down. It was late, and the city was quieter than usual, almost too quiet. I walked up to her door, each step feeling like an eternity. When I knocked, my heart pounded so loudly I was sure she could hear it. She opened the door with that familiar smile, the one I thought only I got to see. But as soon as she saw my face, her expression changed. It wasn't the kind of look someone gives when they're happy to see you. It was more like fear. "Hey," she said softly, trying to step back and pull the door close behind her. "What's wrong?" I didn't waste any time with pleasantries. "Is it true?" I asked, my voice hoarse with emotion. "Are you pregnant?" "With Adam's child." Her face drained of color, and for a split second I saw a flash of guilt in her eyes. She didn't answer right away, and that silence hit me harder than any words could. I felt my blood run cold. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was real. I didn't mean for it to happen," she said, her voice shaky. She stepped outside, closing the door behind her. She wasn't looking at me now, her gaze dropping to the ground as she spoke. "It was a mistake, okay? But it happened, and I don't know what to do." "A mistake?" I repeated, my heart pounding in my chest. "A mistake? How could you call it a mistake? You were with him. Behind my back. You let this go on." She looked up at me then, her eyes filled with tears. "I never wanted to hurt you, I swear. It just happened, and now everything's a mess. I was going to tell you, but I didn't know how." I felt the anger rising in me, but I tried to keep it in check. The last thing I wanted was to lose control. "How long has this been going on?" I asked, barely able to keep my voice steady. I needed the truth, the full truth. She took a deep breath, clearly struggling with what to say. "A few months," she admitted. It wasn't supposed to go this far, but it did. I staggered back a little, the weight of her confession almost too much to handle. "A few months?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "You were seeing him behind my back for months?" "I didn't mean for any of this to happen," she said again, pleading with me. "I never wanted to hurt you." I couldn't look at her anymore. I couldn't even bear to stand there. My whole world was crashing down, and I didn't know what to do next. This wasn't just a betrayal of trust. It was a betrayal of everything I thought I knew about love, about friendship, about her. I had loved this woman, and she had done the one thing I couldn't ever forgive. But there was something else eating at me, something more than just the affair. It was the way she was acting. The way she couldn't look me in the eye for more than a few seconds. The way she was avoiding the most important question of all. What about us? What happens now? I couldn't help myself. "What now, Jenna?" I asked, my voice sharp. "What happens with us? With me and you?" Her face twisted in pain, but she didn't answer. "Not right away." "I don't know," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. I don't know." I couldn't take it anymore. The weight of everything she had done was suffocating, and the uncertainty of her answer made it worse. I knew I had to leave. I had to walk away, because I couldn't keep standing there, waiting for her to give me an answer that would never come. I turned and started walking back to my car, every step heavy, as if the entire world was pushing me down. I had so many questions, so many things I needed to know. But deep down, I knew I wasn't going to get those answers. Not from her. Not from Adam. No one could fix this. But that night was only the beginning. The betrayal, the lies, they were just the first chapter. What came next would shake me to my core and lead me down a path I never could have expected. The drive back home was a blur. I don't even remember getting in the car, let alone starting it. My hands were shaking, my mind spinning with everything Jenna had just said. She didn't know what to do. She was sorry, but none of that meant anything. Not anymore. I pulled into my driveway and sat in my car for what felt like hours. The darkness outside matched the emptiness I felt inside. I couldn't even bring myself to go into the house. Every corner of that place reminded me of her. Our pictures on the walls, the little things she'd left behind. The ring I had bought her. The plans we'd made. All of it. Shattered. I wasn't sure what to do next. My mind was consumed with anger, betrayal, and confusion. I knew I needed answers, but not from her. I couldn't face her anymore. Not like this. But then I remembered something. Something that had been nagging at me since that conversation with Adam. There was something in the way he had looked at me when he confessed. It wasn't just guilt. It was fear. Adam wasn't just feeling bad for what he'd done. No, there was something else there. and I knew deep down that he wasn't being completely honest. So the next morning, I did something I never thought I would. I called Rachel. Rachel wasn't just a friend. She was the friend. We'd known each other for years, and while our relationship was strictly platonic, she was always someone I could count on. She'd been there for me through everything. When she picked up the phone, I was still sitting in my car staring at nothing. I didn't know what to say, but I knew I needed help. I didn't trust my own instincts anymore. "Hey, Rachel, can we talk?" I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I could hear the concern in her voice immediately. "Of course. What's going on?" I hesitated for a moment before blurting it out. "It's Adam and Jenna. They've been seeing each other behind my back. And she's pregnant. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to trust anymore." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. "Oh my God," Rachel finally said. "I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Are you okay? Do I sound okay?" I snapped before quickly apologizing. "Sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just lost." "I get it," she said gently. "But listen, you don't have to figure this out alone. I'm here for you, and I think I might be able to help." That caught my attention. "Help? How?" She took a deep breath before speaking. "I've been hearing some things, and I think there's more to this than you know." "What do you mean?" I asked, suddenly alert. My pulse quickened. "What have you heard?" "I don't want to say too much over the phone, but let's just say Adam hasn't been completely honest with you. I know it's hard to believe right now, but trust me on this. He's hiding something." I felt a chill run down my spine. "What's he hiding?" "I can't tell you everything yet," she said, "but I can tell you this. It's not just about Jenna. There's more to the story, and you need to know the truth, but it's going to be hard to hear." I could feel my anger bubbling up again. I've had enough of secrets. Enough of this crap. I just want to know what's really going on. "I know," she said softly, "and I promise I'll help you get to the bottom of it. But first, you need to promise me something." "What's that?" I asked, my voice tight. "Don't confront Adam just yet. Not until you know everything. You need to be prepared for what's coming. Trust me." I wasn't sure why, but for the first time in a while, I felt a small flicker of hope. Maybe Rachel knew something that could help me. Maybe, just maybe, I could finally get the truth I was desperate for. "I promise," I said, though I wasn't sure if I really meant it. The thought of waiting any longer was torture, but I trusted Rachel. And if she was telling me to hold off, then maybe it was for the best. After I hung up, I didn't know what to do with myself. I still felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, looking down into the unknown. The anger, the heartbreak, the feeling of betrayal, it all felt so raw. But now I had to wait. Wait for Rachel's help. Wait for the truth. The next few days were agony. Every text from Adam, every call from Jenna, every moment where I was supposed to be making decisions felt like it was crushing me under its weight. But I knew Rachel was working on something. She wouldn't let me down. And then, just when I thought I couldn't take the suspense any longer, she called me back. "I have what you need," she said, her voice full of urgency. "Meet me tomorrow. We'll figure this out." My heart pounded in my chest. Tomorrow. Everything I needed was just one day away. But little did I know, the truth Rachel was about to reveal would blow everything I thought I knew out of the water. The night before I was supposed to meet Rachel, I barely slept. My mind was racing. What could she possibly know? What was this huge secret Adam was hiding? Every time I closed my eyes, I saw flashes of Jenna and Adam together. The images burned into my mind. I couldn't escape it. My heart hurt, my thoughts were tangled, and I knew I was on the brink of something big. But I had no idea just how big. The next day, I met Rachel at the small cafe we used to go to in college. It was quiet, almost too quiet, but it felt like the calm before a storm. I sat down across from her, trying to keep my cool, but she could see the tension in my face. "You ready for this?" she asked, her voice low. I nodded, though I wasn't sure if I was. I wasn't sure if I ever would be. But I needed the truth. I needed to know what was really going on. "I've been doing some digging," Rachel said, her eyes scanning the room as if she were afraid someone might be listening. "And I found something big." I leaned forward, barely able to control my excitement. What is it? What do you know? She took a deep breath before speaking. I told you Adam's been hiding something. It's not just about the affair. It's about money. You need to know that Adam isn't the guy you think he is. I blinked, completely thrown off by her words. Money? What does that have to do with anything? Rachel pulled out her phone and slid it across the table to me. There on the screen was a bank statement. A series of transactions. And one name stood out. Jenna's name. Not as the recipient, but as the sender. What the hell is this? I asked, my voice shaking as I looked at the numbers on the screen. It was a series of large transfers, all linked to Jenna's bank account. Rachel's voice dropped to a whisper. Jenna's been paying Adam. My stomach dropped. Paying him? Why the hell would she do that? Rachel's eyes locked with mine, and I could see the anger building in her. Because this whole thing was planned. The affair, the pregnancy, everything. Adam didn't just cheat on you, Trey. He was using you.